Hi Internet, thanks for joining me for this week's Cryptic Crossword Apprentice Class, where I teach myself cryptic crosswords using the Weekender Cryptic by Fraser Simpson, published every Saturday at theglobeandmail.com. That's a Canadian publication, so the English is a little bit easier for me to handle than some of the UK-specific terms we might find in other cryptics, like the ones that are featured on Cracking the Cryptic, a channel I hardly enjoy. I'm trying to get better at cryptic crosswords. I've been interested in them ever since the pandemic, when I started watching Cracking the Cryptic regularly. I try and do as many as I can every day, and I record myself doing this, the Globe and Mail puzzle, once a week and see how much better I get. A couple weeks ago, I managed to do one with no hints. We'll see how we do today. I will probably need a couple hints to finish it, but we'll see how it goes. One across, Singer Petty backed private record label. Singer Petty, probably Tom Petty. Backed means we spell Tom backward. Private record. Maybe we need to split this clue somewhere into two parts, with one side being a crossword definition, the other being wordplay. We could split it after singer. Singer could be our crossword definition. Then we have Tom backed. Oops. Tom backed private record label. I think it's Motown, which is a record label. To own something is private. It's your private property. I'm not sure I'm getting that as a synonym. Own and private aren't really synonyms for each other, but they kind of go together. Let's leave that in, because Motown is a record label. It does feature Tom spelled backwards, so I think it's probably correct. I may just be missing something there. 4 across, tightens up variety show lineup, going after free ticket. I feel like tightens up is the definition here. Then we have a word for variety show lineup, and it goes after a word for free ticket. Free ticket. We need 8 letters. Nope, not sure. 9 across. Certain beverages turn black and blue, we hear. We hear usually is a homophone indicator in my limited experience. So black and blue, sore, or just blue. Blue, we hear. So that could be B-L-E-W, a homophone of B-L-U-E. Turn black and blue. No, doesn't seem like we've got enough letters there. 10 across, pair of litigants denounce certification. Pair of litigants, sewers. Denounce certification. No. 11 across, strong devices I developed. Developed is a common anagram indicator, and we need 8 letters. Devices I is 8 letters. So I think we're going to anagram devices I, and we're going to get a synonym for strong. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I'm not clicking on what the anagram is going to be. Strong. No. 12 across, amuse shipwreck explorer beside Titanic's bow. The question mark means there may a little bit of a joke involved in some of the wordplay. Titanic's bow could be the bow of the word Titanic, i.e. the letter T. A shipwreck explorer beside T is a diver. A shipwreck explorer is a diver. Diver is beside the bow of Titanic, the letter T. And we'll get divert, which would be a crossword answer for amuse. 14 across, in cubicle facing staff leader. Staff leader, again, could be the first letter of staff. Or staff, is that maybe a musical staff, like a clef? In cubicle, clef. Is facing, could that be S? Yes, this is a hidden. These are the ones I often miss. So in is telling us to look for a string of letters in cubicle facing. We get CLEF. the last three letters of cubicle, the first letter of facing, and that is a staff leader in music. The music staff has a clef leading the line of music bars. 15 across, excitedly lift fur, wraps halfway up, producing helpful results. Excitedly could be an anagram indicator. Producing helpful results sounds like it might be a good definition. Halfway up. So fur wraps is, no, lift fur. Excitedly lift fur. So if we anagram lift fur, then wraps halfway up. I'm not sure. 19 across, Chandra and others respecting gravity in moods. Chandra and others. Moods. 4 and 4 means we need 2 words, each one 4 letters. Chandra kind of rings a bell with astronomy and black holes, and maybe that's suggested by gravity to me. Gravity in moods. No. Gravity could be the letter G. I'll come back to that one. 20 across is empty church with 0 sound reflection. So empty on your gas gauge, F would be full, E would be empty. Church can be abbreviated as CH on a map, and then the letter O can represent 0, as in 007, and we get reflection for echo. 23 across, listen to trimmer poker player sometimes. Listen to, is that a homophone indicator? I'm not quite sure about that. A poker player sometimes would be an antier, a better. Is there any of those like a homophone for trimmer? I'm not sure what's going on with that one. 25 across, worthily revised Bible. Worthily is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. So I think we need to revise the letters of worthily to come up with a synonym, a two-word synonym for Bible. Worthily. Where's the Y going to go? I'm not sure about that. 27 across, really showing agreement covering Mozart's first composition. Again, I'm kind of leaning toward Mozart's first being the letter M. So showing agreement covering an M. Showing agreement, nodding. Really, is really our definition, or is composition our definition? 2 letters and 7 letters. So really it could be something like in fact, but not in fact, in something else, something so that's 7 letters. Yeah, and that's not clicking either. 28 across, cartoon dad, a big hit. Dad is often paw, a big hit. Or maybe are we looking for the name of a well-known cartoon dad? And then a big hit is our wordplay. A big hit. No. 29 across, African people take legal action protecting jetlanders. African people could be the definition. Take legal action. Again, sue. Jetland is that little bit of Denmark that sticks out into the Sea of Jutland. I think that's where the word jut comes from. It juts into the sea. I could be making that up. So I think we take sue. We split the clue after African people. Take legal action is to sue. Jutland is a part of Denmark, so Jutlanders are Danes. And we get Sudanese, which is African people. 30 across, outrage around liberal casting director. Liberal, probably the letter L. As you might, in the U.S., we would see R or D after a politician's name, indicating whether they're Republican Republican or Democrat. In Canada, that would be conservative and liberal. So outrage around L. We have a 5-letter word for outrage that is going around L, and we get the word for a casting director with a question mark. So maybe something to do with fishing. Casting director. No. All right, that's all the acrosses. I have some ideas for some of the wordplay, but I think I'm going to need some crossing letters to figure out the exact words that fit in there. Let's look at the downs. 1 down, novel body mic adjusted on Kelvin. I was going to say novel is an anagram indicator, but maybe adjusted is the anagram indicator because Kelvin is probably going to be the letter K. That is the abbreviation for Kelvin, as in Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin, the degree scale you're using. So novel is going to be our definition. Body mic is our anagram fodder. That gives us 7 letters to play with. We put that on top of K. Novel. Maybe it's the title of a novel, Moby Dick. I was thinking novel as new, but Moby Dick is a novel, and that has the letters of body mic anagrammed on top of K for Kelvin. 2 down is art arranged rematches. Arranged, probably an anagram indicator here. So we get art. 3 and 6 for art. Rematches. We've already got the T and one of the E's. We'll have to get some crossing letters for that one. 3 down, most sound is in a particular compass direction. We've got a W beginning, so compass direction could be west. Most sound, does it end in like EST? We have west. Most sound. And well, wisest. Sound can be sound advice, wise advice. Yeah, so it is in west. A particular compass direction is replaced by the word west. We put is inside west and we get wisest, most sound. 5 down, partly concealed previously. Previously, what's a short word for previously? Air. Partly concealed, no. 6 down, religious leaders pass up, no fights. Pass up, no fights. Not sure what that means. 7 down, roughneck worked on a boat in the Sound. Could in the Sound be a homophone indicator? That's a little iffy. A roughneck is like a person who works on an oil rig, I think. Worked on a boat, rowed. We have a homophone for road. Did we get a roughneck? Not sure. 8 down, detective developed, hustle. Developed is an anagram indicator, but it applies to hustle. We anagram those letters and we would get sleuth. A detective. 10 down, influence delay, hosting at all events at the start. Not making much sense of the surface reading. Influence. Hosting at all events at the start. Maybe the first letters of hosting at all events. H-A-A-E. No. 13 down. Twittering boy follows road in Tom Hanks comedy. Capitalization doesn't necessarily matter. I remember a puzzle, but they had Tyra Banks, the name Tyra Banks in the clue, and then Tyra was part of the wordplay and Banks was part of the definition. That's probably not the case here. We're probably looking for the name of a Tom Hanks comedy. Twittering boy. follows road. Road, RD. What is it? 8-letter Tom Hanks comedy. I don't know. 16 down, all March rioting keeps ending in Valley of Tears. In hac lacrimorum vale, in this vale of tears where we all dwell. All March rioting. That's probably an anagram indicator for all March. That gives us 8, and it keeps the ending in valley. It keeps a letter Y. So we anagram all March plus a letter Y, and we're getting a word for tears. And lachrymose means of tears. It's an adjective to describe tears. And I did sing the tenor part of the Lacrimosa in a choir performance, but I don't feel confident enough to be able to try it here. 17 down, Olympians sustained attitude with one mafia boss. Olympian, maybe one of the gods of Olympus. That could be sustaining attitude, lip, or sass, or something like that, with one. And we get a synonym for mafia boss. Capo is the only word for mafia boss, or godfather. What, is there a mafia boss that ends in N? Could it be the Don? Or maybe one, could be a Roman numeral 1. Mafia boss could be Don. A sustained attitude. Poseidon. A sustained attitude is a pose. Poseidon. I was thinking of names of Olympus gods that end in IDON, and finally Poseidon clicked, and that told me that a sustained attitude could be a pose with 1, the Roman numeral 1, and then mafia boss is Don, and we get Poseidon for Olympian. 18 down, person hanging around, unconventional or elite Republican. Could unconventional be an anagram indicator for or elite? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters, and then Republican can be abbreviated as R and D. So maybe we anagram or elite. We add an R for Republican, and we would get a person hanging around. Or elite might give us loiterer. Yeah, we anagram or elite, we add an extra R, and we get loiterer, a person hanging around. 21 down, shows up with black jewelry. Shows up. Up and a down clue could mean we're spelling a synonym for shows backwards. With black, could be abbreviated as B. And we get a 6-letter word for jewelry. Baubles, bangles, bright shiny beads, not sure. 24 down, independent red guards, beginning to kill, annoyed. I would think beginning to kill would be the letter K, so I'd put that last, but we've got a D here already. Annoyed. Independent red guards beginning. Not sure about that one. 26 down, name given to a dozen, 6 down. Irrational to us, and we're helpfully highlighting 6 down. So once I figure out what 6 down is, maybe some kind of religious leaders or some kind of fights. Name given to a dozen religious leaders, perhaps. Irrational to us. Irrational makes me think of a rational number like pi. And then to us could be pi to us, pi next to us. Pius is probably the name of a dozen popes. So maybe these are pontiffs, religious leaders. Pontiffs is a name for a pope. Pass up, no fights. Tiffs could be fights. I think pass maybe in maybe Canadian football. A pass is a P on a score sheet or something. And then, no, yeah, pass is P. Up, no is take no and spell it upside down. We get O-N. Up, no. And then fights are tiffs, and that gives us pontiffs, religious leaders. And I think there are a dozen, probably, or so. A dozen popes are named pious, and I'm getting that from the wordplay of irrational next to us, an irrational number next to US. I think that's right. Is that all the downs? Okay, I've looked at every clue once, so let's try this again. Maybe look at a place where I've got some crossing letters. 15 across, excitedly lift fur, wraps, halfway up. I'm not sure. I feel like excitedly lift fur is an anagram of lift fur, and we have F and L in here. It's probably F-U-L. I don't know what wraps halfway up. Like half of the word wraps plus a U for up. I don't know. Something full could be producing helpful results. What is 9 across? Certain beverages turn black. Certain beverages turn black and blue, we hear. I think we're looking for the name of certain beverages. I don't know what it is. Strong devices, I developed. We're looking for a synonym for strong that is made up of the letters from devices, I. Strong, decisive. Yeah, okay, that fits. Strong in your decisiveness, not physically strong. Art arranged, rematches. We're arranging rematches to get art. And it begins with a 3-letter word like the. Just not getting it. Maybe if I could get 2 down, I could get 9 across. Let's try, well, let's just try up here. Tightens up. Variety show lineup going after free ticket. No. Pair of litigants denounce certification. No, 10 down. Influence delay. Hosting at all events at the start. Wow, okay, not doing very well today. Chandra and others respecting gravity in moods. Listen to trimmer. What does a poker player do? That could be a homophone of trimmer. Probably ends in ER. Dealer. Better passer. Caller. No. Really showing agreement. Covering Mozart's first. Composition. What about here? Cartoon Dad. A big hit. Outrage around liberal. Where are we putting the L? Here, maybe? Casting director. All right. So normally I would count the number of, at this point, I'd count the number of clues I haven't filled in, start to use a hint. So I'm not going to do very well on this one. I think that's probably not even half the puzzle I've got filled in. But I'm going to need to start using hints, I think, in order to finish it. So let me reveal a word. Let's reveal this word and see if it helps. And I'll make sure to rewatch the video and count the number of words I reveal. Okay, pair of litigants denounce certification. Certification is licensure. Pair of litigants denounce. A pair of litigants tells us to take two letters from the word litigants, L-I, to denounce is to censure, and we get licensure for certification. Okay, can we get any of these downs with that? Partly concealed, previously. No. Roughneck. Nope. What about 10 down? Influence delay, to live some way. Okay, I'm going to have to reveal this one as well. Compacts, or compacts, tightens up, compacts. Variety show lineup are acts. Going after free ticket, you might get your ticket comped. So a comp is a free ticket. The acts of the variety show go after that, and we get compacts. Roughneck worked on a boat in the sound. And this is, okay, another hidden. Hiddens usually span two words, which is why I thought about looking for a hidden, but usually they span two words, so I didn't. So within the word concealed, part of the word concealed is once, which means previously. All right, I'll allow that, and I think I'm just going to have to reveal this word. Worked on a boat, crude. Okay, roughneck maybe generally is just a crude, unsophisticated person. So in the sound is a homophone indicator. Worked on a boat, crude, C-R-E-W-E-D, but we take a homophone for that, it's in the sound, and we get a synonym for roughneck. All right, and that doesn't help us anywhere else in the puzzle. Influence delay, hosting at all events at the start. Let's try this one. Producing helpful results, I think, is a definition. Fruitful, yeah. Excitedly lift fur. We've got all the letters from lift fur in here. We need to add a U. Oh, it wraps. It goes around half of the word up. All right, I thought we were going to take half of wraps. Excited, an anagram of lift fur goes around half of the word up, and we get fruitful. Yeah, should have gotten that. Okay. Influence. What about 13 down now? Twittering boy follows road. All right, let's try this one. I think we're just going to have to reveal most of these. Influence is leverage. Delay. Hosting at all. Ever. So lag. Hosts ever. And then events at the start is this letter E. All right, did not see that. I think this is the title of a Tom Hanks comedy. Bird song. Boy, son, follows road, RD, in Tom Hanks comedy Big. So big is going around a word for boy, son, which follows road, and we get bird song, which means twittering. Okay. Chandra and others, respecting gravity, probably this G, in moods. Oh, is this some kind of, are they gods? What kind of gods are Chandra and others? They are moon gods. So Chandra and others are moon gods. Respecting gravity, respecting on gravity G, you might see that in a physics equation. It goes, moods goes around that, and we get Chandra and others as moon gods. Okay, did not think of Chandra as the name of a moon god. Art. I think art is our synonym here. The Scream is the Edvard Munch painting, so that is art, I guess. The Scream itself is art. It is an anagram of rematches. Yeah, okay. Certain beverages turn black and blue. We hear beers are certain beverages. Turn black and blue. I'm not understanding the wordplay. Let me make sure it's right. No, it's brews. Certain beverages, brews. So we turn black and blue, we hear. Black could be B. Ruse? Is that a homophone of blue in any way? I don't understand the wordplay there. I'll have to think about that. I often get these, when I can't understand the wordplay while recording, sometimes I'm able to see it once I watch the video again. Today just was not a good solve. All right, let's go ahead and finish off these, see if I can reverse engineer the wordplay here. Listen to trimmer, poker player sometimes. I think we're looking for something that a poker player is sometimes. A razor. Okay, yeah. Did I even say razor? I think I said caller and passer. I didn't think of razor as a homophone of trimmer. A shaving razor is a trimmer. Okay, and a poker player sometimes is a razor. So razor is a homophone of what a trimmer is. Shows up with black jewelry. Shows up with brings. Black is B, jewelry is rings. We get brings. Shows up with. I show up with my potato salad at the party. Independent, kind of could be I. Red guards beginning. Beginning to red. It's irked. Beginning to kill is K. Red guards the beginning to kill. This is a case where that capitalized red guards is a misdirection. Red is guarding the beginning to kill, and we put that with independent for I, and we get irked, annoyed. Really showing agreement, covering Mozart's first composition. No kidding. Is that right? Really showing agreement, no kidding, or not, really is no kidding. Showing agreement is nodding. It is covering Mozart's first composition. Yeah, Mozart's composition have a K number next to them. It's the name of the initial of the person who cataloged all of them the first time. So his first composition would be K1. I did not think of that. I thought Mozart's first was going to be the first letter of Mozart. Okay, difficult one for me there. This is an anagram of worthily. It gives us Bible, a book, something. Holy Writ, that is worthily. Yeah, did not think of that. That makes sense. Lachrymose, I think, is right. I think this is the name of a cartoon dad. And what is a big hit? 22 down, we have a Y here. Oh, I don't think I looked at this one. Almost make calls about YouTube programming language. Okay, YouTube is YT. To almost make calls is to almost phone. So almost the word phone, we leave off the E and we get Python, which is a programming language. Cartoon dad, Homer. And I spelled lachrymose wrong. That's why. No, I'm not sure I'm spelling it right here. Homer is a cartoon dad and a big hit in baseball. A home run is a homer. We need this to be the R and this to be the C for lack of tears. Maybe it's lacrymal, A-L at the end. That would give us the L for liberal. Lacrymal, maybe that's an adjective from describing tears. Outrage is what? Anger? Yeah, casting director is a fisher, an angler. So anger goes around L for liberal, and we get angler, and that is it. We still got some letters incorrect. Let's check the grid. Okay, that was just a typo. And then all March keeps ending. This is the Y from the valley, ending of valley. Okay. I don't feel too bad about that. All right. Well, that was just not very good today. So I think a couple of weeks ago, I managed to get it with no hints. In the last couple of months, I've been getting like 85, 90% of the puzzle completed without hints. I did not get anywhere near that today. I don't think I even got above 50%. So this one is decidedly an F. I needed a lot of help. And I can't blame it on the setter because Fraser Simpson sets all these puzzles. So you'd think, I can't say, well, I'm just not on the same wavelength as the setter because it's the same person who usually does it, unless they changed it. Maybe he's on vacation or something, but well, I'll have to go back and check and see why did I not do very well today? That will be a good question for me to consider as a student of Cryptic Crosswords and find out what I did wrong today. All right, let me know in the comments if you have any tips for me to get better. Appreciate hearing about that. Please come back to my channel for more puzzles and games. I'll see you next time.